Okay, so here we are at psychopaint.com, and what we need to do is find this arrow that says Paint Online and go ahead and click on it. So once the site loads, then you have three choices. You can use one of their samples, you can start painting from scratch, or you can choose upload one of your pictures. And this is what I want our class to do for our introduction discussion. So please make sure that you click this option. Once you do, it will allow you to navigate to a picture that you have on your desktop. The type of picture that I need you to have is a self-portrait. Navigate to your picture. I'm going to grab this one up here and I'm going to click open. So the first thing that happens is you see your picture over here on the right and you see its actual size in pixels, and then you see that you can make it larger or smaller to work with. So they're giving you these options, but you want to be careful because depending on your resolution, it might be very hard for the computer to handle. It might be very slow as it creates brush strokes, and you might pixelate your picture depending on your resolution. So what I would recommend is staying at 100%, or you could do slightly smaller if you want, but don't go too small because we want to be able to see the picture when you upload it to Canvas. 100% or slightly smaller is fine. Go ahead and click the paint button. Okay, my picture comes into view. So each of us, as we bring in our picture or our photograph, either one, I want you to work on changing it so that it has a different stylistic approach. The first thing that we'll do to make this happen is we'll pick a brush. So over here on the side there are brushes, and if you click on this little arrow, you see it gives you the styles of different artists. So if you hover over any of these, you will see the brush stroke of that particular artist. Like if I go up here to Munch, it's like scratchy. If I go to Pissarro, you get something kind of chunky, all right, more impasto looking. I'm going to go down to Van Gogh and I'm going to click on that one. Now I've selected the brush, and what you don't want to do is this. You don't want to just kind of slap across randomly across the face. And if I want to undo that, on my Mac I can hit Command Z and it will undo. On my PC I should be able to hit Control Z to do that. Or if you can't remember those, go on down to the very bottom of this and there is an undo button and you can click on undo and that will also do it. Now what you want to do to make this the best picture that you can is you want to follow the contour lines of your drawing. So a contour line is around the edges. So I'm going to start going around the edge of my face, following the lines of the face in the drawing. Okay, and that just changes the brush strokes, makes them a little bit more random and furry looking actually, because of the brush that I picked. And as I keep doing this, notice that I'm filling in, but I'm going in the direction of the lines, the contour lines. Another thing that I'd want to look at is I might want to go on the contour of the face, the way the face is bending, trying to follow it as though it were a 3D model. And that way you'll get a better feel with your brush strokes. I'm going to go down the line of the nose. Okay, go into the nostril here a little bit, mess with the shadow. I'm going to undo that. I don't like the way the shadow prickles out on the side, so I'll just do a little bit less of that as I move in. I'm going to go along the lips, edge of the lips. Okay, I'm going to go along this shadow side right here. Oh, don't like what happened right there. I'm going to undo that stroke. Come down along the side. My chin kind of round, so I'll just go in little round circles. And I'll pull up right here. Follow this cheek line. Now I'm following underneath the eye. I'm okay with the eyelashes getting a little bit distorted, but I want to try to keep the eyeball pretty clear. I'm going to follow the eyebrows. Go underneath the eye, following the eye. Whoops, I don't like the way it got into the eye. I'll undo that stroke. And I'm going to come around again. There we go. It's a little bit better, although I don't like that. Maybe I'll take that out. Notice a lot of undoing. You'll just go back and forth. All right. Okay, I'm going to go down the side. Now on the neck, I'm not being as careful at all because I know what I'm going to do here. What I've done is I've started just kind of swoosh things around on the edges. If I look over here, I can change my brush size. I'm going to push this brush a little bigger and I see the sample there happening. I'm also going to push my opacity down so it's a little bit more translucent. And now I'm going to work on the edge. Okay, now I'm throwing this around. Oops, I think I want a little bit more opacity. That was a little bit too much transparency there. What I'm doing is I'm going in circular sweeping motions around the outside, because what I'd like, if it looked like everything around the outside was kind of swirling, whereas it was calm right in there where the eyes are, I want you to look at the button called Style Settings here. If you click on that, a bunch more things pop up. So we can increase the density of our brush with this density slider. And you'll notice if I hover over it or any of the brushes on this side, I get a tooltip over there on the right where that blockhead is. It says modify the density of bristles your brush will have. So that's cool. I can make more or less bristles in the stroke. Other things that you can do, this one says change the space between the bristles. We can go down, make your bristles straight or chaotic. Okay, change the size of individual bristles. Give a liquid feel. I think I'm going to try that one. Let me move that slider up to the max just so we can see something happening. And now I'm going in a bit of a circular motion. I kind of like some of that. Ooh, maybe sweep it around a little bit. Now this is softening everything. Okay, that liquid feel that we're talking about. I'm just going to pull it around. I kind of like the idea of softening everything, but leaving the eyes in a detailed look so that, again, the focus sticks with the eyes. Oops, I didn't like that last one. A little bit too strokey. I'm going to undo it. All right, so you'll be making these decisions. You'll mess with the elasticity and the friction. You can do all these kinds of things. Another thing that you could do is you can click on the colors and you can pick another color. You can go down to the slider down here, slap it on there to a blue or whatever color's in here, and then I can pick a range of that color in here. So the pure value blue to a lighter value to a white blue or a dark blue black. Okay, so I could click on that, and then when I come back into my painting, I'm still where I was. And I could throw blue in there if I want. Now I don't like that. I'm just showing you how to use it. So I'm going to undo that. And I will close that slider because I don't actually want to add different colors. Another thing you can do though is you can do these effects. I'm going to click the effects. And you'll notice this is your original. If I click on the center one, I get more of a neon feeling. The one on the bottom left gives me a psychedelic type of a expression, which I kind of like actually. And then there's this mid-tone value, okay, which is suppressing some things and it'll change your basic colors to their opposites. This one gives you more of an artistic flow, which I don't like. This one repulses me for whatever reason on mine, so we'll skip that one. And then there's the black and white version. I kind of like the black and white. I also kind of like this one. Yeah, let's see. I think I'll go with the black and white this time. All right, and I will click on these little X's to get rid of that. It says, would you like to apply this effect? In other words, you want to make it this black and white effect that I chose. I'm going to say, yes, I do. Now, once I've got this, the way that I think that I want it, then what you want to do is you want to be able to save it. Okay, now there are some options in here that you won't be able to use because you're not logged in and you don't have the paid version. So you won't be able to work with layers, and there's some things under settings that you might not be able to access, okay? And there's save and share, some things that you won't be able to do as well.